Well guys, it is about that time once again to do a complete portfolio reveal, share with you guys all the positions, all the stocks and ETFs that I'm currently holding across my 7-figure dividend portfolio. But along with this, we're actually going to go into one of my largest portfolios and share with you all the different stocks or ETFs that I've been buying over the past 30 or so days specifically. Now there have been some decent sized changes of the portfolio over the last 30 or so days, so even if you watch my last reveal, I promise you're going to want to stick around. So if you want to see the ins and outs of my long-term portfolio and all the stocks and ETFs that I've been buying as of recent, well then make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. If you are a dividend investor who wants to level up your portfolio, you need to be tracking your dividend income consistently. And that's why I created the perfect dividend tracker that I've used to scale my dividend income up to all-time highs over the last year. Now, along with this dividend tracker, you're also going to receive my A to Z dividend investing ebook, which shows you how I personally started from $0 several years ago to now where I earn over $7,500 per month in dividends. So if you want this tracker and the ebook, go to the first link down below in my description and grab it today. Now, before we do the complete portfolio overview and I share with you guys once again every single stock and ETF, the amount of shares that I own, everything, I want to go through one of my largest portfolios like I said and share with you guys what I've sort of been nibbling on over the last month or so. Now there's going to be a lot of familiar names but maybe some new names also, so let's get into it. Now side note, this is one of my portfolios. I do have multiple different brokerage accounts, but this is one of my main ones that I use quite often. So on this day I bought a few shares of ZVol, the Volatility Premium Plus ETF. I'm still in a place as of right now where I'm trying to raise my overall dividend portfolio income substantially, but over the next several months and into next year, I'll probably back off a little bit more on that and buy some more growth oriented names as well. So I bought 3 shares of ZVol on this day, I bought 3 more on this day, I bought 5 more on that day, then I bought my first share, I think if I'm not mistaken, of XPay. This is another S&P 500 ETF we've talked about on the channel, and it's sort of targeting a 20% yield. Very interesting, definitely look into it, and I just started off as a very small position. Then I grabbed 2 shares of SVol. I've said before that I'm sort of done buying SVol. They dropped their dividend once again last month, and I don't necessarily think this is going to be my best performing ETF across the entire portfolio, but I am just grabbing a few more shares averaging down when of course it's below my cost basis. Then speaking of higher yield, over the next few days I bought some SPYT, the Defiance S&P 500 Target Income ETF. This ETF yields 20%. It's done pretty well since inception. Again, not necessarily an ETF that I want to make up my entire portfolio, but I did grab some SPYT in the last 3 or so days. And then what do you guys know? I bought some SCHD and then some more SCHD, and then you guessed it, more SCHD. Now for those of you guys that have missed my last previous videos, definitely of course first off go back and watch them, but also it's sort of bittersweet because I'm basically finished now with building up my long-term SCHD position. I'm sitting on just around 2,300 shares or so across my portfolios, and my goal before the end of this year was somewhere around 750 to 1,000 shares, which if we take 2,300 divided by 3, we're over that. So although you are going to see me buy more SCHD in the future, I'm sure, I do still moving forward want to use some of my cash balance and move it into other positions also. Then in the last 30 or so days, we grabbed some more QQQY. This is a position that I've owned now for a while, but I really haven't built it out to a larger position. As some of you guys also probably saw in previous videos, I grabbed 100 shares of it on this day for $52.77 per share. So now officially I can probably say that this is a larger position relative to what it was. Then I grabbed some QDVO. This is another Amplify ETF. It's like Devo sort of, only it utilizes more growth oriented stocks. It seems pretty promising so far. It's relatively new, but I'm going to keep building up that position as time goes on. Then I'm excited to announce that I have been grabbing some more jepi, the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF, of course, an ETF that a lot of you guys and pretty much all dividend investors love. I've owned jepi now for several years, but I haven't really added to my position up until maybe a few months back, so jepi is now on the leaderboard as far as one of my daily buys. Now speaking of more income oriented positions, we grabbed a ton of GPIX and GPIQ. These are both super high quality cover call style option style ETFs, and if you guys have not looked into those, I have made videos on these also in the past. GPIQ specifically is a Nasdaq 100 cover call income style ETF that I definitely think you guys should look into, especially if you're a fan of jepi. Then after that I grabbed a share of GIAX. One of my friends were talking about it and I thought I'd build out a starter position just to look a little bit deeper into it. Then in the last 3 days we grabbed a ton of FEPI, which is sort of new. I have owned some FEPI in the last year, but we did grab quite a few shares of FEPI in my portfolio over the last 30 or so days. FEPI ETF is another one that at least so far has played out to be a pretty good position, again at least so far. Then the last few positions we grabbed in the last 30 or so days in this portfolio, we grabbed some Devo ETF. Devo is another one that I've owned forever but haven't added to it in a while, and over the next 365 days I probably will start adding a lot more Devo just because Devo is basically an ETF that crosses off almost everything I'm looking for. Then lastly we grabbed some shares of BALI, another income focused ETF, and of course, FEPI's brother or sister, AIPI. So more or less, that's what we grabbed in the last month or so. A ton of income-oriented ETFs. I mean, if we were to look at all these ETFs that I purchased in the last 30 or so days, and look at how much forward income that's going to generate for the portfolio moving forward, you guys can definitely understand how impactful this is going to be and how this is going to help my snowball keep snowballing. But also, we grabbed a ton of SCHD, which is good because SCHD is more of a foundational position that's going to grow over time and, of course, pay us more and more over the years. At least I'm hoping. Now, if you guys are still watching to this part of the video, comment down below second half just so I can see all of you guys, and thank you in advance. But it's time to go through the entire portfolio now as it sits. We're sitting at 1,768 shares of BDJ. We're at 1,520 of Devo, 1,262 of Verizon. Nothing new with Apple stock, nothing new with qyld, nothing new with Realty Income or jepi. EPD is still at 749, BST is at 700. We did grab some more JEPQ as you guys saw. So now we're sitting at around 434. ZIVB we're at 35 still. New C we're at 246. XYLD we're at 194. SCHD, like I said, we're almost at 2,300 shares at 2290. Nothing new with Ultra Group, Triple N, nothing new with JPM, nothing new with Vici, KMI. I think I did grab a few more shares of Main Street Capital in a different portfolio, so we're almost up to 300 shares of Main. Main has been growing like crazy as of recently, side notes. Then we still have 351 of WP Carry, we still have our 47 PNW, we still have our dreaded 255 shares of TSLY, we still have our 21st shares of UPS, nothing's changed with PBA, we have our Arbor Realty, nothing changed there. Extra Space, nothing new there. Simon Property, nothing there. We did grab a few more SFAL, like I said. Stake Industrial, TRO, KMB, VNQ, KO. Nothing new as far as I can see over here. FEPI, of course, we did add some more to this last month. Then for the most part, as far as I can see, the only thing that I really added to the portfolio since probably the last reveal was AbbVie, which I forgot that I had a few shares of AbbVie. So I added my 15 shares of AbbVie, which I bought during 2020. So these I'm up substantially on. Look at that yield on cost. Then lastly, we built out our GPIQ position a little bit more this month. But for the most part, this is where the portfolio is sitting as of right now. And of course, down below the first link in the description, if you guys grab my custom dividend tracker, you get access to my entire portfolio in real time. You can see all the stocks and ETFs that I add, sell, etc. But as of right now, this is where the portfolio is sitting. Again, all these numbers are extra estimated, but we are sitting at $7,600 per month in total monthly dividends, or around 91K per year. Now, with the most recent dividend increases across the portfolio, whether it's an ETF or whether it's single stocks, it has allowed the portfolio now to start compounding more and more because I am starting to get into the later years of my investing journey. And it honestly feels like maybe after year 3, 4, 5, the portfolio starts to have a mind of its own, or at least it's what it's been feeling like as of recently for my portfolio. Because I'm going to be completely honest, the portfolio seems to be growing at a faster pace this year alone. Maybe it's because of intrinsic dividend increases, or maybe it's because of my investing style, but it seems like the portfolio has had a very, very good year in 2024. Now, my longer term plan for the portfolio still remains the same. As of right now, I still want to get these total yearly and total monthly dividends still up substantially from where they are as of right now, even though as of right now, between you and I, this could cover all my bills and then some. But the longer term goal is not over as of yet. I still want to get my total yearly and total monthly dividend income up to a point to where it's well above that. So my plan to do that is to continue to buy different dividend oriented stocks and ETFs, whether they're lower yield and higher growth or lower growth and higher yield. I'm going to keep mixing things up in the portfolio and trying to mold together the perfect long-term portfolio for me and my family. So now that we went through all the purchases that I've been making over the past 30 or so days in my largest portfolio, and I share with you guys all the stocks and ETFs I'm holding as of right now, I lastly, most importantly, want to hear from you down below. Over the last 30 or so days, whether it's a stock or ETF, what's one position you've been trying to add to your portfolio like crazy? Drop the ticker symbol in my comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.